Welcome back to the podcast. It is August 21st on a Friday, a day right before UFC Fight Night, Munoz against Edgar. I just want to apologize for yesterday's video. I was not able, there was some technical difficulties. For some reason, when I uploaded yesterday's prelim video, my audio was totally off for some reason, even though I heard it before and then I heard it after, and then once it finally got loaded up, it was just mute. So pretty much I'm going to just break down everything right now. Mainly focus on the main card, but give you who I like in the prelims, okay? So since today was Friday, today was weigh-ins as well. And you're seeing it right here. Absolutely insane. There's a couple changes that we have hitting the prelims right here. Pedro Munhoz and Frankie Edgar was fine. Alonzo Menifield's and OSP was fine. Kalen Bourne and Dwight Grant, that fight was scrapped. Takashi Sato made weight. Daniel Rodriguez made weight as well. But he was not cleared by the Nevada Athletic Commission, Takashi Sato. So I don't know if they're going to, give it the thumbs up, or what might happen is that Daniel Rodriguez, since Takashi isn't, 100% given the go, that Daniel Rodriguez is going to fight Dwight Grant. That hasn't been announced yet. That could happen tomorrow. So right now we're looking at a card. Instead of 11 fights, we're looking at 10. All right. And then also at the beginning, the first fight, Timur Valiev, who've been waiting card after card. His guy, Mark Streisel, he backed out. Now Timur Valiev is fighting Trevin Jones, who's making his UFC debut right here. A lot of not really good fighters in his record right here. And Deep Impact and AKA and ACB, he's been traveling here and there. Fought a pretty good guy, just record wise. If you're looking at him, 25-15, beat a dude that's 6-1. Lost to a guy 11-3, lost to a guy 5-3. So he's. I couldn't really find video on him. I'm still going with Timur Valiev. Clearly, I think Mark Streisel is better than this Trevin Jones kid, who just happened to come in, late fill in. So that's another not good sign for that. It's another thing on the side of Timur Valiev for him to win. He just needs to get a win. Just get a fight. We've been waiting for like a month now, and it's getting annoying. So he's going to fight Trevin Giles in that one. I'm on Timur Valiev's side. The next fight, Matthew Semmelsberger against Carlton Minus. This one, Matthew is very, very dangerous with his knees and elbows, has some grappling skill, and I really like the stinging leg kicks, and he looks like a pretty good prospect. Carlton Minus, on the other hand, mainly a striker. This is his UFC debut, really good on his feet, but I feel like Matthew's just a better boxer in this fight. And despite the fact he's only 6-2, this is a budding prospect, and I think he'll overcome Carlton Minus. All right. Next fight, third on the prelims, is EK or Ike Villanueva going up against Jordan Wright. Villanueva lost his first fight against Chase Sherman. Doesn't have much of a ground game and has low output, sloppy boxings, and his hooks look more like swipes. Jordan Wright is very, very unorthodox stance, light on his feet, but he cannot handle pressure at all. His first fight in that Dana White Contender Series was absolutely embarrassing. Got starched in the first 40 seconds. It was embarrassing. I don't know how he's considered a light heavyweight or how he made it this far, but his previous fights he did not look like this. But he just when you got Dana White watching you and you're supposedly 10-0, which you're supposed to be 10-1, they wiped that loss off your record. I don't know why, but I think you're about to get another one. You're facing Ike Villanueva, who's more experienced, 16-10. That's 26 bouts. He has more losses than you have. He has the same amount of losses as that you have bouts. Like, I'm going to go with the veteran in this situation, okay? Austin Hubbard against Joe Selecki. I'm going to be on Austin Hubbard's side. had a very, very good outing against Max Roskopf. If you remember that fight a couple months ago, Max Roskopf was supposed to be this huge, huge talent, supposed to, be trend setting for the UFC, a takedown artist, huge wrestling background. Austin Hubbard defended all his takedowns. It was embarrassing. He was taken out twice, got up back very easily. Did the same thing in the second round, and once the fact that Roskopf was not able to get Hubbard on the ground, he was tired. He had no stand up. He had no hands, and he made Max quit. Joe Selecki is going to bring that same type of offensive game to Austin Hubbard. That is not going to work with Austin Hubbard. He has faced, if you look at his record, back-to-back guys that are trying to take him down. He's worked on his takedown defense. He's in a great fight camp with Elevation with Curtis Blades and Justin Gaethje and all those type of guys. He faced Marco Madsen. He was exposed in that one, but he worked on it with Elevation, bounced back against Max Roskopf. Now he's going to face Joe Selecki. We're going with Austin Hubbard. Keep on that underdog train, okay? Next fight is going to be women's Mizuki and Nui against Amanda Lemos. Mizuki, former Invicta champion, currently 1-0 in the UFC, very well-rounded, great cardio, young skills, and an improving prospect for this women's weight class. And she's clearly fought better competition. Amanda Lemos is a very big, strong Brazilian bruiser, very dangerous, and you want to avoid the clinch in the grappling. Mizuki definitely has the prospects and should, by all means, win this fight. I'm leaning towards her just because Lemos is that type of chick that can make this scrappy and make it very, very ugly for her. But like I said, Mizuki's facing Virna Chindroba, which we saw in the last card. She's pretty elite at this point. She has grappling. She has stand-up. We're going to lean towards Mizuki, okay, in that fight, all right? At the end, I'll look at all the plus and minuses and who's the underdogs, all right? I just want to get through this really, really quick. Next fight is going to be, I think they did make it. Now, this is totally different. If we got Dwight Grant going up against Danny Rodriguez and they made it official, this one, this is pretty much a catchweight fight because there are two different weight classes here. I might still go. All right, I'll do it this way. Dan Rodriguez was formerly incarcerated, found MMA as a way out of trouble. Purple belt in jiu-jitsu, currently 2-0. He has a very, very high volume of strikes. Packs power in his left hand because he fights southpaw. Dwight Grant on the other side, 2-1. Nickname is the Body Snatcher. Very long and rangy. He has KO power in both hands. Slips very well. Lands counter shots and puts combinations together. Loves the overhand right. So this one, I'm probably leaning towards Dwight Grant if I had to choose one because I like the range that Grant fights at. Danny Rodriguez is more of the charging type, and Dwight Grant is a counter puncher. So I can see Dwight Grant working on the outside, giving leg kicks, and then Danny Rodriguez trying to come forward, and then that overhand right is going to come into a factor, okay? So we're going to go Dwight Grant if these two guys actually fight in that one, all right? Next is going to be Maria Agapova going up against Shayna Dobson. If you just look at the records, you see a problem here. I love this girl, Maria Agapova. Her debut, which was a couple months ago, I watched her first couple fights in Invicta. Absolutely off the charts. You've seen the potential in her. Leg kicks are outstanding. She has ground game. She goes at a nice, furious pace. Shayna Dobson needs to stay a teacher. This is why she's 3-4. And she has maybe some power, maybe. But she's out here getting continuous losses. She doesn't belong in this weight class. If you want to take a shot at Shayna Dobson, because she's at almost like a ridiculous plus, I think, 1,000. If you want to throw $5 on that, you can. But it's not looking good. Pretty much if she loses this fight here, she's probably going to be on her way out of the UFC. So if you want to take a shot at the underdog, you can, but it's not looking good. All right. We're moving on in this main card. We have Mike Rodriguez going against Marcin Prachinio. Mike Rodriguez, huge. We're just going to look at some measurables really quick. Huge at 6'4" and 82.5 reach. Ridiculous size on this guy. Marcin Prachinio, 6'3". I don't have the reach, but it's definitely not the reach that Mike Rodriguez has. If you're just looking at Marcin, I watched his fight tape. It's kind of embarrassing, similar to the guy I said earlier. Who was that? Not Carl Minus. Yeah, it's similar to Jordan Wright. I don't understand how he made it to the UFC. But as soon as he came in after having I watched that Gilberto Galvo fight. Pretty much didn't put up much of a fight. It was some huge Baki guy. He took one right hand to the top of the head and fell. But then you have Marcin come in against Sam Alvey, who's a punching bag, and you lose. You pretty much get KO'd by him. And then Magomed Ankalaev is very good, but you get another loss to him, and now you're facing Mike Rodriguez. So you're not really proving to me why you were a nice prospect and you had an 8 fight winning streak, and it's not looking good for you right now. You got the no contest against John Allen. You lost to Dayan Jung in the first couple seconds. It looks like you can't take a punch. Mike Rodriguez is very dangerous with the high knees and flying knees and elbows. I'm going to go with the more dynamic fighter in Mike Rodriguez in this one. You're probably going your way out as well. So we're going to be going with Mike Rodriguez over Marcin, okay? This card, if you just look at it, it's really bad. They just need to get through this. If it wasn't for Pedro, Munoz, Frankie, Edgar, this is pretty much a shit show. Next fight, we have Ovince St. Preux going up against Alonzo Menefield. This one, you can go back and forth on this one. We already know OSP, 37 years old, a legend in the light heavyweight and heavyweight. Right now, for this fight, he's got to cut about 30 pounds to come down to the 205 and meet that requirement. He did that, but he's 6'3", 80 inches. And if you just look at his record right here, you look at this experience that he has. You got Ben Rothwell, he lost to. He's fighting dudes like Dominic Reyes. That Ariel Latifi fight, he got starched, he got knocked out, and then he got finished off with a guillotine choke. He's had fights with Volkan Ozdemir, John Jones, Glover Teixeira. Very, very, very decorated fighter. But Alonzo Menefield is the future for this light heavyweight division. This dude packs a ton of power. I understand he lost that fight against Devin Clark. He made it to the third round, which he hasn't done in none of his fights so far. The furthest he has ever went in any of his fights was the second round. Devin Clark took him to deep orders in the third round. He did a very grinding clinch work fight, worked his wrestling each and every single round, made sure that he wasn't, too, starched by the huge power of Alonzo Menefield that he packs. But the thing about this, Ovince St. Preux, yeah, he has the ability to do it, but he doesn't do it at all. He doesn't take down people. He averages is like under one takedown a match. And if you just, let me see, OSP, UFC stats, just look at this really quick. I believe it was like under one or just one. Yeah, 1.27. And is he taking down dudes? Michael once. He didn't take down Ben Rothwell. He took down Nikita. He took down Dominic Reyes once. It could have been from like a trip or something. Didn't take down Tyson Pedro. Didn't take down Ariel Latifi. Didn't take down Corey Anderson. This is what I'm talking about here. Alonzo Menefield in his fights, he's been tested with his takedown defense. He stuffed a ton of takedowns from Devin Clark, at least 15 of them. that he did in his last past 2 fights. Fought Paul Craig, stuffed his takedowns, finished him off with punches. So if you're giving me a stand-up fight, I'm taking the dude with the more power. I understand OSP has some good kickboxing background, but Alonzo Menefield is an absolute monster. And you're facing a younger, fresher dude, and OSP is on his last leg out. Give me Alonzo Menefield in this fight. All right. Then last but not least, we have the finale. Pedro Munoz going up against Frankie Edgar. This one, we have the young upstart Pedro Munoz with his BJJ background. He's 33 years old, the younger fighter. They're the same height, but Frankie Edgar has more reach. He's more experienced. I understand he's 38 years old, finally coming down to the division he was supposed to be at Bantam for a very, very long time. He was supposed to be at this level. When he took the fight against Max Holloway, he was supposed to be at this level. He was supposed to be at bantamweight when he fought even Cub Swanson. So this has been a long time coming. He's fought. His last 2 fights have been losses, 1 decision, 1 TKO. But I think coming down to bantam, he's going to be the bigger guy finally. He's been facing dudes that are 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", all his career. You see fights against Jose Aldo. You see fights against Yair Rodriguez. You see fights against Jeremy Stevens, Uriah Faber in his prime. These BJ Penn 3 times, Charles Oliveira. This dude is bringing a ton of experience in this fight. He is superior at better in boxing than Pedro Munoz. He's quicker than Pedro Munoz. He has better BJJ than Pedro Munoz. And this is all at the age of 38. Hopefully this translates no problem. All right. I'm taking Frankie Edgar as a huge underdog, the more experienced fighter. This is similar to a situation where you have like Glover Teixeira is the veteran going up against Anthony Smith. I'm thinking it like that. I'm taking that in mind like that. All right. You got the young upstart, but then you got the savvy veteran that's better than you at everything. Give me Frankie Edgar in this fight. And another key point, this fight is 5 rounds, okay? 5 rounds. Pedro Munoz has never had a 5-round fight. Frankie Edgar does 5 rounds in his sleep. He's going to be the fresher fighter at the beginning because Pedro Munoz has been on a little layoff, and then he's going to be the fresher fighter at the end because he's never been in deep waters, all right? So that is going to be my picks for today for that card. Let's see if I can just pull up the UFC and just get a check at these odds. You get Ike as an underdog. I like him, Villanueva. Timur Valiev, you get him as a huge favorite against Trevin Jones. Matthew Semmelsberger is more like a pick'em. You get him. Austin Hubbard, this is another pick'em. He was an underdog, but money is coming in on Hubbard. Mizuki, that number's actually coming down. Money's coming in on Amanda Lemos. Maria Agapova is an insane value. Not value, but insane price. And if you want to take a shot at Shayna Dobson, it's plus 750, which is pretty nice, but she's going to lose. Mike Rodriguez, who I said I really like because Marcin is a punching bag. OSP is an slight underdog. Alonzo Menefield is the favorite, and he should be. He should take this advantage of this situation. And then we're going to take the veteran and Frankie Edgar coming down to the weight he's supposed to be at. And he has a short period of time to take advantage of bantamweight. He gets this win. He needs to take a title shot in the next 1 or 2 fights, okay? So those are my picks for this card. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageSD. Thank you guys, and peace out.